Hey, what's up guys? Walchel here. Welcome to another gameplay video, Battlefield 5. And on my previous video, I showed you my settings for Battlefield 5. And in the back of my head, I kept thinking, I think I have a gameplay before I did all those changes. So I started looking around and voila, I found this gameplay video. So this was recorded before all those changes. So everything you see on that video is pretty much the opposite on this one. So I think sensitivity was around 60% on this gameplay. The aiming left and right acceleration was on 100%, and the whatever all the stuff I show in the gameplay, it's off or on. Like I said, the opposite. The squad log weapon name is not showing. It's not, just shows the name of the guy that I killed, and that's it. The FOV is on 50. So what's the point of this video, you probably asking? Okay, it doesn't, there's no best settings or worst settings. Like if you feel comfortable with playing on a 60% sensitivity and you're doing fine with it, then that's good. That's your best settings, I don't want to put up videos just telling you, oh, these are the best settings, or I do the stuff that I do in my gameplay just because I move my sensitivity to 70% or stuff like that. That's not the case, because over here, like I said, everything is the opposite. Everything's pretty much default on this game. Like FOB 50, like how terrible that is. Like terrible, quote unquote terrible, right? Because if you pay attention, like I'm running and it doesn't feel like I'm running, man. It feels like I'm like walking. It's like baby steps. When I turn, it feels so heavy. It's because I got that like I said, left and right acceleration is on 100%, because I wanted the Battlefield 1 feel, that heaviness. So that's what feels like that. But that didn't stop me from doing like well in a gameplay. So once again, settings are good, but you cannot say these are the best settings. These are the best settings, let's say, for you or for this other guy. The other guys watching this video could say, no, I like my sensitivity on 50 and I like my FOV on 50 and stuff like that, because whatever the case may be, right? Or this other guy could say, no, you know what, my sensitivity is on 90%. That's the best. Is the best for this dude, right? For that guy, not for everybody. So like I said, the point of this video is not to, because I don't want to say like, hey, do this so you can do well. So hey, whatever works for you, just stick with it, and if you want to maybe experiment with something else, that's good. It helps in a certain way, but it's not going to make you a super player. It's not going to, if you're doing horrible with this, for example, with these settings, and you change it, you could do a little better, but it's not going to make you a super soldier. So maybe maybe it's not the settings, maybe it's the way you play the game. Some people, because I got another question on that video to talk about how to die less in the game, so I wanted to address that in this video, since it's kind of long. Some of the stuff that I do in the game, well, you see me live in all my videos, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and whatever I post is live. And you see me playing very cautious, and by cautious I don't mean sitting down kind of waiting. I'm always looking to be one step ahead of the enemy, looking to kind of surprise the enemy. Sometimes the game doesn't work properly. You get killed behind walls, behind stuff, inside buildings when it's already crossed. So the little like stuff, that's like all the stuff. It's not you. Like the game is not registering the bullets properly, and that's something that there's not much we can do about it. But for the most part, what you could do is, for example, over here, I'm like way behind this wall. But anyways, so what you can do is maybe try to be more stealthy, not to be so obvious. And that's one thing that I say in my videos. I don't know if you pay attention. For example, on all those squad conquests, when I tell you, hey, I'm gonna run, and usually I do that in a lot of my games. and I tell you what my strategy is gonna be like. I always tell you I'm gonna run from let's say C and B on Hamada, for example, or I'm gonna do C and A. And I always do that run throughout the whole game. I don't know if you pay attention or if you remember those gameplays, and I think I still have more of those that need to be uploaded. But I always tell you that, and that's the thing. You need to have an idea on what you're going to do instead of just running all over the place like crazy. So yes, if the enemy are capturing your flag, then yeah, you have to go back and try to defend it. If the enemy are capturing the B flag, you go ahead and destroy them. Like that gameplay that I posted not too long ago on Aras with the STG-44, and I was defending the B flag, and I just killed like 5 or 6 those guys, and that was pretty intense, pretty cool. But anyways, it's not because I'm doing something extraordinary. It's just you need to be aware of like what's going on, right? You need to expect certain things, and that's one thing that I tend to do a lot. Maybe that's what helps me not to die that much, because that's basically my goal also. you know and I judge myself, and this sounds kind of weird, but my goal is always to die less than 10 times in a game. So regardless, so I'm not allowed, and I do this to myself, I'm not allowed to die more than 10 times. So not even 10, maybe 9 and less. And this is because it's like a challenge for myself to die less, stay alive longer, and kill the enemy more. So it sounds kind of weird, but I know it sounds like homework, but it's not. It's just something that I've been doing since like Call of Duty as well. Since I started playing, Call of Duty 4, World at War, and all that stuff. And because I know that if I'm alive longer and I'm killing the enemy, I have more chances to win and help my team to win. So that's basically it's not just because I want to show off in videos. No, it's just because that keeps me on track on like how to move in the map. And the more you play the game, the more you play the maps, then you know how you are going to position yourself in the map and in the game mode. So that's why I'm able to tell you live in my gameplays, like, okay, I want to go A and C because I can have an idea what the enemy are going to do. Same thing with the maps. You always hear me saying, oh, at Ras, I'm going to use the assault kit because the enemy are going to be using a tank, and they always use a tank because this is there. So why not? So I'm always prepared for things like that. So I prepare myself for the map, for the mode, and for everything accordingly. And that combined with some sort of like map movement. And this is why I love being infantry only. This is why I do not use vehicles, because it allows me to know the map really well, to know where the enemy likes to go. And you also see me running like the longest way. I always use the longest way. I don't use any shortcuts. I don't run in the middle of the map. I just go around. I do these weird loops and behind buildings, and you probably could be saying, well, it's much easier if you're just going through here. No, well, I'm trying to be stealthy a little bit. I'm trying to be unpredictable, and that's what helps me a lot, just to get the kills and the stuff that I do in gameplays. And that's basically it. It's nothing weird. It's just that. So for the person who was asking me how to stay alive longer, just be unpredictable. People tend to do the same thing every time, and it is so easy, and it's so obvious what people are trying to do, and people try to be too aggressive or not aggressive enough. So you have to find that balance between the two. In my well, this is TDM, so I have to be aggressive. But if you watch my squad conquest and when we had domination or the few like conquests actually that I posted, the last one was on aerodrome. I'm aggressive, but also I'm a little defensive, and it just go back and forth between the two in order for me to catch by surprise, and like I said, not to be so obvious, and just to be ahead of the enemy. You need to be one step ahead of the enemy. It doesn't matter who it is. If the guy is rank 100, try to be one step ahead of the guy. If you see the guy is being too aggressive, because I see this a lot, and I don't know if you pay attention also my squad conquest, gameplays, when I got all these people are too aggressive, I tend to be more defensive and it just works. You know, you just wait for them. Not camping because it's different. You know, people tend to get confused between being defensive and camping. But if you need to be defensive, if the enemy are being too aggressive, then you play a little defense, and then you get them, right? If it's the opposite, if the enemy are being too defensive, wanting to be a little aggressive, but smart aggressive, you know, you just don't be so obvious running in the middle. You just go to the sides. You know, there's a little routes you can take, and you know, to surprise the enemy. When you get closer, you know, to the flag, you just don't run. You crouch, and then you walk a little slower. You just wait. That's why you see me in my games, is that I kind of stay, like, stand still a little bit. I'm trying to, like, hear footsteps, see what's going on, and then just keep going. So you just play smart, and that way you're able to destroy them. And this regardless your settings. So going back to the settings, so regardless if your sensitivity is 90 or 70 or 60, or if your left and right aiming, left and right acceleration is 100 or 0, all this doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's not that much, just because you're playing smart, just because, you know, you feel comfortable with your settings, and you know, and that's good. If you play, you know, sensitivity on 70%, your aim needs to be more on point, because you can move a lot quicker. Same thing with that combined with the aiming left and right acceleration, it's going to be a lot quicker. So if you're not used to it, if it's not for you, you're not going to be able to aim properly, and you're not going to be able to kill the enemy. So it's all a combination of things, you know, and it's just by practice and trial and error. And you know, at the first times you're gonna get your butt kicked and stuff, you know. And the first thing happened to me when I first got into shooter games. I used to be super aggressive when I first got into, like, Call of Duty 4. Super aggressive, and some games worked, some games didn't work, and I remember started watching other people's videos, and I started analyzing their gameplays, you know, how they move in the map, and I'm like, oh, well, there's another way to do things. And I like how, and hopefully this video helps you out too, man, because like I said, I just watched somebody else's video. I don't know, this was years ago, and I don't remember their name, but it was just like, I like the way this guy plays. You know, he's cautious, he's smart, he's flanking this way. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try that too, and it was pretty awesome, you know. And I just incorporate that to my game style, and it became my game style, and I added my own things, and how to move, how to do things, and that's it. You know, that's the secret. Basically, you just have to find your groove. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And once you got that going, and you know, you're gonna do so well in games. So in the meantime, just keep trying. You know, some people are good with sniper rifles, people are good with shotguns, people are good with you know, I try to use everything. I think in Battlefield 1 I posted gameplays with sniper rifles playing domination, and it worked wonder, man. I destroyed the enemy with sniper rifles pretty good. I got a playlist if you want to look for them. They were pretty insane, stuff. I don't feel like sniper rifles are that good in Battlefield 5, so that's why I haven't used them. Sometimes I use, like, the P08. You guys see the gameplays with it, or the trench carbine. But other than that, I don't really like to snipe in this game. I don't think it's as good as it was in Battlefield 1. But yeah, people are good with different guns, and maybe you're trying too hard to be a good sniper. Maybe your role is not being a sniper. Maybe your role is being a medic, or I don't know, the ammo guy, or the assault, or whatever. And probably that will get you better gameplays if you're struggling. Or maybe you're playing as a medic, but you're playing it wrong. Right, being too aggressive or not aggressive enough, or it's just little things that when you start analyzing your gameplays, like, oh, what am I doing, or like, oh, okay, I'm doing this wrong, then you kind of learn from your mistakes, and then you just get better. And if you need to change sensitivity, you change it. If you're not, then you're fine. But it's all like a combination of things, and in the end, you know, it's gonna help you to, you know, be a better player. So if you're kind of struggling on Battlefield 5, since the game is already a year old, my advice, and this is one thing that I did in the past, was take this game, Battlefield 5, as a as your practice game, as in uh, this is gonna be the game that's gonna help you find your groove. Doesn't matter how many times you died or stuff like that. So you just start like I said, applying the stuff that I told you. Try more flanking. Try to be more aggressive. Try to be less aggressive. Try to pay attention to what you do, what you're doing wrong. Try to correct it, or try something different, and see if it worked. If it worked for a game, okay, let's try it in this next gameplay. But the map is going to change, so you're also going to have to change a little bit the way you did things compared to the previous gameplay. And then you're probably gonna get your butt kicked. All right, so what did I do wrong? Okay, I rushed too much into this building. Everybody loves going to this building, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna flank these people. You see that you start playing your little strategies on your head, and what to do, not to do. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's a lot easier than it sounds, believe me. And once you get the idea, once you know what you're doing, what to do, and all the stuff, it just becomes natural. You know what to do, and then you start moving better, and then you start. And same thing with the gun. I know there's some guns better than others, and I know. Well, I try to post gameplays with all the guns, even with the ones that I hate, like the MP28, and I ended up doing so well with it. So sometimes also it's not the gun; it's just how you play it. It's just maybe the specializations were not the right ones. Little things like that. There's other guns like the Sten or the Tommy gun that are really powerful. Now we got the Type 100, so you can use that gun to fight those as well. If people are using that one, then you use something else. But you try different things. So don't worry about Battlefield 5. If you're struggling, like I said, use it as your test game for your skills. Test your skills and all the stuff, and you should be able to come up with something pretty good. And for the next Battlefield, my friend, whatever it is, Bad Company 3 or I don't know what it is, you're gonna be good at this, right? And knowing what to do in the map in certain situations and how to move in the map, and it's gonna be a lot better, and you're gonna do pretty well, and you're gonna destroy the enemy. So this is it. What you see in these settings were not an issue, because they were quote unquote my best settings at the time. So that didn't stop me from getting some kills, from dying less than 10 times, and to being on top of the leaderboard once again. So like I said, settings are not everything. They do help in certain things, but they're not like a game changer. At least it wasn't for me. So like I said, sensitivity on 60, aim left and right acceleration was on 100, and FOV 50, and so I don't kind of worked, I guess, for this gameplay and for the stuff that I did in the past when I first got this game. Anyways, thanks for watching. My name is Wild Child, and if you haven't checked out my channel, the videos, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, later.